What's up guys, it's Jughead here, just a down-to-earth guy trying to bring you all some down-to-earth content. Welcome back to my Let's Watch Mob Psycho 100 series. Today we're going to be watching episode 5, titled OCHIMUSHA, Psychic Power and Me. I know it's been a while since we have watched Mob Psycho. I have missed it greatly. Last episode, we are introduced to Teru, our fellow psychic user, and our newest antagonist, I would say he is, because he's an evil fucker, in my opinion. He does not seem like a good guy, but who knows? A lot of anime I've watched, the antagonists become anti-heroes, become heroes, become friends, and become some of our favorite characters. So who knows what to expect, but I know it's been a while since I've watched Mob Psycho. I'm excited to get back into it. Practically halfway there through the series. I think does a Mob Psycho 100 have 12 episodes. On episode 5, I'm excited to get back into the gold standard of animation is what I consider Mob Psycho. So I'm excited to have my eyes gaze upon some of the best animation I've ever seen in any medium whatsoever. So without any further ado, let's get into it right now. So, Mob Psycho 100, episode 5, OCHIMUSHA, Psychic Power and Me. In 3, 2, 1. Let's watch. Shall we? Oh, let's get back into this. Can't wait to see the visuals I'm about to witness. Teru and Mob going up against each other. Dimple here, our new buddy. He's shitting his pants because he's never seen... Has he never seen another psychic user before? But let alone one so powerful. Oh shit! I just get so excited about the animation in this show. Brunette versus the blonde. Okay, we almost at 50% in the explosion. Okay, let's see where this adventure's going. I want to see a matchup between two psychic users. That'll be insane. Oh, he's just off the rip. Oh, and he don't even care. He ain't even phased. Putting his hand out to shake his hand. No match. Yep. He's lived his entire life as the big fish in a small pond, and now he's about to see the harsh reality. Telekinesis. Lets you move objects around and stuff. Okay. So. Interesting. Mob Psycho's obviously so much more powerful, yet there are techniques that he cannot use effectively. Teach him a lesson. Go bad boy for a change. Yeah, show him who's boss. It looks like he has to pee. But he's another psychic user. Okay, nope, shut up, shut up, shut up. We don't support him anymore, nope. We discussed this in the last episode. We were born with special powers that others do not have. Well, only one of you were. I love the mentor side to Reigen we are getting. Yep. Confident and conceited, two different things. I love these vibes we're getting. Very good messages. I like how he goes by that code even though he doesn't have powers himself. Yeah, you don't want to live a life relying on your psychic powers. What a crutch that is. how easy it would be to just speed your way through life. He wants to change naturally as a person, not the easy route. Your life can be fulfilling without such powers. Stooping down to the level of average people. Yeah, he's an antagonist, alright. He's just gonna stand up like, can you stop, please? Brain, brawn, and the law. Yeah, he's helping him out, like, you don't want to get involved with mob. You don't know that? He could explode. Oh, shit. Oh, he's gonna get fucked up. He can become a god. Ah, okay. Hey, did he view Dimple as a friend? Did he view him as a friend? Now you're making him angry. Did he? He's been exorcised? Uh-oh. Is he kind of like a... He's kind of like a Gohan. All his powers come out when he's emotionally compromised. Got a nice ass? My man! My man! Observation? Acknowledged. Or he's like a Naruto, where he lets the Fox chakra take over when he needs to protect something precious to him, like Sakura and Sasuke. Oh, it stopped. Pointless existence. All that shit entering your head, all that negativity. Point your knife. You can be a warrior. You can know how to use a sword, but keep it sheathed. Yeah, why do you have to belittle others? Better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. You just exorcised my friend. His little buddy. Little pet. You got rid of him. Why does he stand like that? Like he's holding in a pee. Why? But again, look at that animation. He's going Super Saiyan. God, I respect the fact that he won't fight back, but I want him to fight back so much. Jesus, this is fucking insane. This is what I mean by the fucking gold standard of animation. Look at this. Is he getting hurt, or like, or is he protecting himself through his psychic powers? Or is he actually getting fucked up? Jesus! What the fuck? Bro! Uh-oh. Knives are dangerous. Don't point the knife. Oh, he's just trying to get him to fight. Uh-oh. Did he... What did he just do? What did he just do? Oh, God! Teru's at 0%. Oh my God, that is hilarious. Look at the top of his head. Oh, you done fucked up now. I can't take him seriously now. Oh my God. Teruki Hanazawa. Yeah, y'all ain't friends. Y'all rivals. Oh God. All because of his hair. You're gonna have to do something. You're gonna have to fight back to protect everybody else. Oh, he thinks he's the main character. Okay. Dimple wants to become a god. This guy thinks he is a god. How ironic. He has too much confidence and doesn't deserve it. Mob deserves to have more confidence but has none of it. But now he's seeing, man, maybe this isn't what I want. Maybe I should just be myself. Dude, knock this kid off his pedestal already. It ain't all that. Yeah, that is true. The only person that could even attempt to make that argument is a fellow psychic user. Why? You don't like me because we're the same. Not the fact that we both have psychic powers, but the fact you have no confidence in yourself. True! Facts, you'll have nothing. The only thing you have going for yourself. Put all your skill points in the one skill tree. He is projecting. Definition of projection. Yeah, he's not using his powers. Now he's just emotionally compromised and choking the shit out of you. Now he's just mad. And you only get mad when you know you're being told the truth. Yep. Your whole life is a lie. He wishes he could have Mob's viewpoint. Jesus Christ. This is getting it. Oh, he's about to explode. He's like the Hulk. His inner powers ain't gonna let him die. Oh yeah, does he want to be seen as an equal? He wants to be worthy enough for Mob to use his powers on him? Or what? This is getting fucking deep, bruh. Oh, is he defending his brother? Oh, shit. What the hell just happened? What happened? What happened? Uh-oh. Yeah, but you can't help the fact that you do have psychic powers. So, you can change, but you can't get rid of them. I'm so confused by these emotions right now. He doesn't want him to leave him because he's like the only other person that's like you. You feel so alone. The only other person that can understand him. That's how I'm kind of seeing it right now, right? Rejecting each other's ideals. There was no victor. Yep, only emptiness in their hearts. Damn. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. He's exploded. He's about to see true potential right now. True power. Holy shit. They don't even, that's not even 100%. Dude. You're gonna get fucked. He's naked. He loves this. Yep, he's just like, yep. Gone to the dark side. Finally got someone to drop their ideals. Yeah, this ain't even him anymore. Is this like an incarnation of the psychic powers themselves? Is he busting a nut? What is that? Looked like he was blowing his load. I guess everybody knows the main conduit to your psychic powers? The cock. Yeah, there's something there that's never been tampered with. Unknown identity. This has never been tapped into before. You done fucked up. Yeah, what did you just awaken? Holy shit. You got the one rock covering up his junk. Yeah, you regretting this now. Holy shit. Everybody just on the road just looking at a blonde, naked, bald kid floating through the air. This is like some Victorian painting you've seen like from 500 years ago. Exactly, you are the average person in comparison. Everybody else is average compared to you, but compared to Mob, you're average. You're the ant. Damn. Still got much to learn, Padawan. Insane. That visual right there, wow. He tried to resist his own being and failed. How impactful that has to be. Holy shit. Man, Mob Psycho never fails to disappoint. You're getting the storytelling with unmatched animation. Holy shit. Let's be friends now. And everybody else is waking up like they're about to see a bald-headed naked kid. Just as he said. Yeah, he might as well have taken away all his powers. But at the end of the day, he has friends, people that care about him. See? Body Improvement Club came back to check up on him. Wanted to make sure he was okay. He's been humbled. Teru gonna become a protagonist now? A friend? That was insane, dude. One of the best episodes of animation I've ever seen in my life. Is Dimple really gone? I'll honestly be sad. Or is he waiting at his room in his house for him? Or is he gone forever? I hope this brother relationship improves now that we know that his brother is that they're jealous for each other. But they do have a good relationship, it seems. It's just untold dynamics. No, not that. Hey, nice. Yeah, you used them against other people, but you did good. You protected your brother. Is he gonna realize that, like, sometimes you do have to use them, or no? Is he still jealous? We have nothing in common. Oh, wait, did he lie to him? Wait, was that him? Wait. Wait, what? I'm confused. Does his brother have powers? So, let's discuss. Excuse the wet hair. I literally just hopped out of the shower maybe 10 minutes ago because I wanted to be squeaky clean. As well as the outfit change I can explain. You may or may not know because I think I only explained it in my Hunter x Hunter video. So I'll explain it here that I'm trying to reorganize, re-optimize, and make more efficient my time when it comes to recording and editing my different Let's Watch series. By changing it up a bit, I'm going through the game plan of recording my different series in bulk in one day, editing those, and then I go back and record my discussion videos, which usually take place the next day. So then I can upload either that second day or the third day. It may not make sense to you, but it makes sense to me because I'm the one doing it, that it just feels like a more efficient way to optimize my time with editing and recording. So expect for the few more weeks as I test it out that my outfits and how I look or my background when I'm during my reaction portion of my videos may be different than how I look and how my background looks for the discussion portions because they are recorded at different times or on different days. But with that out of the way, let's get into this. This was a masterfully crafted episode, in my opinion. Pretty sure I've said this at least once or twice, maybe even more so far, but let me say it one more time. That this is for sure the episode where there is no fucking way you don't love this anime now and know it's going to be good. Like, this is the seal the deal episode. The dialogue between Teru and Mob is some of the best dialogue in any anime or show I've watched in a pure emotional and thematic form. And what I mean by that is just how emotional this episode was. The feelings behind the messages, behind the words, you felt that shit, and how emotionally fulfilling it was to watch Teru in his god complex evolve into a greater sense of enlightenment instead, and then contrasting with Mob just his downfall, that hit hard too. Accepting with Teru, accepting that he doesn't need to belittle others or knock down others, accepting that he too is an average person and there's nothing wrong about that. He's been knocked down. He doesn't need to knock others down to feign security. Let alone some of the best animation I've ever seen. Jaw dropping every single time, utterly captivating. I'm amazed by every episode, but not surprised anymore, as I have 5 episodes now under my belt now that make me feel confident in saying Mob Psycho is my gold standard in animation currently. I know the animation is done by Studio Bones, right? Who I also know are revered and extremely respected in anime culture for the work that they've done. Even with just Mob Psycho to go off right now to take everyone's word on how talented they are over there, also just go down the resume, go down the list. The animation alone has me super excited for the day I get to get into Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and My Hero Academia soon. Both of those are coming soon, and maybe Soul Eater and or Wolf's Rain on the side. I've never seen 10 seconds of any of those anime, but if it's anywhere near the quality of Mob Psycho, I'm not even saying the style, but the quality, then I know me and my eyes will be pleasantly fulfilled. But to get into the story itself, bro, I love the influence the show creates on your growth as a viewer. First and second episodes, maybe even more, but definitely the first couple. For example, they had me uneasy about Reigen, like thinking liking his comic relief, but wanting something deeper out of him, while simultaneously finding it hard to like him because he's a fraud, or I just don't know how to read him. Kind of like when I got first introduced to Wing in Hunter x Hunter. But slowly, he blossoms as this great mentor figure to Mob, and I'm really starting to like him and respect him. And I can see he has tried to set good character in Mob with a solid set of correct morals and ethics. Although his business may be shady, he as a person contradicts it somehow by being a good person and a good mentor. And at the end of the day, everyone's case that he takes on, we've seen ultimately get solved. So the clients are satisfied. They are paying for what they get at the end of the day. But he is bringing in Mob to do all the work, but who cares? Gon use I mean, not Gon, man, I still got Hunter under on my mind after that analogy I made. Mob uses his powers for good and grows along the way, and Reigen receives whatever admiration he gets that he doesn't even really care about. So this episode really hits you with some great mentorship by Reigen, telling Mob, we were born with special powers that other people don't have, but we mustn't let it get to our heads and think we're special. You can't put someone over another. Being confident about your powers is fine, but you mustn't get conceited. Depending on how we use our powers, they can also be deadly weapons. Really good. Reigen said Mob's powers are like knives, and you never point a knife at someone. This, I can argue or twist just a little bit in my own opinion, add my own morals or philosophy of power into this. That quote, better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war, fits here to me. You can be a monster. If anything, maybe you should be a monster in the sense that you should acknowledge there is one in all of us. You should acknowledge that you can be and are a monster. Face it, be aware of it, so then you can control that part of you. You can control it. So Mob should acknowledge and embrace the fact he can be a monster. He can be and is a deadly weapon. He can hold the knife. He can really hold it tight by the handle. He can raise it. He can point it, but never point it towards another with malicious or violent intent, and never use it. Those who have swords and know how to use them but keep them sheathed are the truly good people. There's a big difference between a weak person never doing anything wrong and a strong person doing only what's right. Big difference between Mob denying his powers and never using them, and Mob embracing his powers and therefore all of himself along the way and controlling it, therefore understanding himself more comfortably, contently, recognizing he has a sword with a very sharp edge that could slice through and slay any in his way, but keeping it sheathed. The sunlight never warming the metal and the blade never cutting through the air. I believe that is better for a person to grow. Ooh, and I just remembered this. If any of you played Skyrim, remember what Parthenax said, "What is better, to be born good or to overcome your evil nature through great effort?" You could tie that both to Mob and even Teru, too. Mob says he doesn't want to live a life relying on his psychic powers. I understand that. Wants to find some other potential within him, which is good, but you can't live your life denying yourself. And his powers are a part of himself. So he doesn't want to use the powers as a crutch, but he's simultaneously crippling himself mentally and emotionally by denying this aspect of his essence exists, which is so ironic compared to Teru, who at one point was literally throwing Mob around like a rag doll, the symbolic image of a puppet master at the strings being conveyed by the guy with the god complex, telling Mob there is no reason to live your life, stooping down to the level of average people. Brain, brawn, and even the law are powerless before his gift. Goes so much against what we heard Reigen tell Mob. Don't put yourself over another and don't be conceited. What's Teru doing? Putting himself above all others. Smart or strong, even the law itself. Oozing with conceit. I'm special and the world revolves around me, he says. As Dimple said, his entire life he led himself to believe he was a big fish in a small pond. This whole episode culminates in the realization he is just another small fish in a big pond, in the grand scheme of things. When you expand your worldview, when you actually open your eyes. I think it's also big and worthy to note how Dimple wanted to prevent Teru from hurting Mob. He doesn't want to fight, so he's obviously going to lose. So I can't have you breaking him, he said. Dimple might have been warming up a bit to me. He has some good in him. I don't know. Maybe had Mob's best interest at heart, even if secondary to his own. I might have looked wrongly at Dimple when you compare to my discussion of him in either the previous episode or the episode before that. I think it was the previous episode. And then Dimple fucking died, man. Just sliced right through. I thought he was about to do some cool shit when he transformed back into his former big self that we saw in the previous episode, but nah, disintegrated, sliced through like butter, exorcised. And Mob, you could see he was sad about it, shocked that that happened right before his very eyes. All the flashbacks he had kind of shown in that moment that he remembered him more fondly in hindsight. And you got a few moments of things like Dimple telling him, be confident, telling him he has potential, telling him he is strong. So he wasn't all bad. He wasn't all good, but he wasn't all bad. He's a gray character. And you know what? I like those. I hope he comes back. I think he will. Again, just like I've predicted things accurately in Hunter x Hunter, and how I say I've watched easily over 1,000 something movies, hundreds of shows with thousands of episodes total. After watching enough stories, you know when a character is actually killed off or added to a main cast of characters. I see Dimple returning in some form. And then to get more into Teru, Teru is such an intriguing character. The dialogue for 15, 20 minutes straight between Mob and him were so profound. That line Teru made saying Mob is the only one who could make his argument that psychic powers ain't all that was really interesting to me. A really good line because it makes you think. Because true, the only one who could argue against the use of psychic powers would be a psychic user who's incredibly privileged and advantaged. The irony there. You could compare it to, say, a multimillionaire telling you money doesn't buy happiness. And one could make the counter argument there like, well, I'd rather be wealthy and unhappy than poor and unhappy. Or like, you might be right about that, but I'd wish to be rich and find out myself than be poor and only take your word for it. Only the two of them could understand. Only a fellow psychic user could understand and make any arguments for or against. They're the only followers of their respective ideologies trying to get the other to convert over. And I like how Mob on his own accord was able to make the revelation that the two of them are the same and why Teru despises Mob because the two of them are the same. Both have no confidence in themselves. Take away the psychic powers, strip that away, they're both left with nothing, and they both are nothing, at least how Mob says it. Mob admits it, Teru denies it and hides behind his powers. Mob can openly see himself in Teru, but Teru denies seeing himself in Mob. And that emotionally compromises Teru so much to such an extent that he just loses his shit and he ditches his powers and just attacked Mob off of anger and hate alone, physically choking him with his hands. I thought that was super powerful imagery right there. Could Mob not use any of his defensive abilities to counter a physical attack? Or I guess not once his hands are like literally around his throat. He can obviously counter all psychic attacks, but once Teru was overcome with emotion and said fuck it to his powers, I guess Mob was rendered powerless too. Maybe anything he could have done would have hurt Teru and he refused to hurt somebody else. So much so he was willing to just get fucking choked to death. And Mob dropped the fucking mic with that line that put Teru over the edge. Mob said to him, Teru is the one who is average. Damn. It's all about perspective. To Teru, everyone without psychic powers is average, but to Mob, who is clearly way stronger in his abilities than Teru, he's way higher up on that food chain, finds him to be just as average by comparison. So Teru lacks self confidence because he knows deep down he is average. And he finds that out. That's like the revelation to him, just like Mob had his own revelation. Teru even said he had everything he wanted, everything happened the way he wanted to go, but Mob's very own existence ruined his world because it completely knocked down his own ideologies and lies. Before Mob, he could live blissfully ignorant, blind to his own truth, but now he's been directly confronted by it and he can no longer live by that lie. Interesting how when Taro seemingly choked Mob till he collapsed, it was right there that both of them rejected each other's ideals. But then after the fight, you see how neither of them could uphold them either. Really interesting there. This whole episode is on the concept of ideology. Remember, every episode presents some really cool or profound argument or question. This one explores and challenges ideals, the pros and cons of ideologies. When Mob was choked unconscious and the narrator says the fight between Taro and Shigeo never concluded, I feel like that's said purposely, since Mob himself was rendered unconscious. So what we see take over was not Mob himself. Something else was awakened, like there's a being inside of him, like how Bruce Banner has the Hulk inside him. It's almost two separate personalities, two separate beings. Who else is like that? I'm trying to think. I have so many characters so close within my mental reach, but I can't grab them. Damn it. But you know what I'm saying. The body was free to take over, or once he reaches a critical state, once he reaches 100, this essence where his power is derived from maybe is awakened or brought to the forefront. Because, like, Explosion Mob doesn't look anything like regular Mob, so it has to be something. And the other obvious character would be Naruto. Duh. Not who I was thinking of before, but that works as a pretty perfect comparison, obviously. I don't remember who else I was thinking of, but Naruto just randomly came to my mind. But with the fight over, you really see the dichotomy and the irony between the Mob. The supposed winner of the fight is crushed, drowning in sadness, overcome with disappointment, upset with himself entirely, while the loser is finally happy and content with himself. So, who really won here? Would be Taro, maybe, to me. Just the concept that when pushed to the limit, neither of them could uphold to their ideals. No matter how much you train your dog, for example, you keep poking them and they're gonna bite you. Really hits home this concept that this episode focused on. You can pick apart all different ideologies. There will always exist pros and cons that can be found in any mindset out there. And on an emotional level, an emotional personal level, Mob denying an inherent part of himself, his powers, is in part why he lacks self confidence. While Taro's only form of confidence, overflowing confidence, almost to the point of contempt and conceit, uh, comes from his powers. Both are equally sad. So much contrast between these two characters. All these contrasts are entirely different at the beginning of the episode to what they are at the end, but they're still contrasting, just for different reasons. Like, it's like the gravity of two stars pulling each other. Starts far away, and at some point, the two reach a tangential singular point, and then the forces push them back away and they separate once more. The two of them started on opposite ends of being, ideologies, status, etc. At some point during their conflict, they may have reached a tangential point of equality, and then at the end of the episode, they're completely separate and contrasting again. Like, you couldn't help but feel sad when Mob crying on the ground. Mob realizes what he has done, that he failed to change, caused another accident from his powers, not knowing where to direct his emotions, the powerlessness born from his contradictions, and that feeling he'd never conquer himself. And so he reaches 100% sadness. So, my question is, do his psychic powers exist in different explosion types, or was it's simply visual? When he reached 100% sadness, he looks physically different with his long hair and his eyes, similar to his rage state, but this time sadness. I'm just wondering that. Because we've seen rage, we've seen 100% rage take over, but now we see sadness. So are those, do his emotions lend to his explosions? I wonder that. I wonder what we'll see. Obviously, I have to wait. We've witnessed some semi serious action and dialogue, and we've had some pretty good laughs along the way, but this is where shows strike best for me. I really appreciate the ability to be properly serious without any juxtaposition of comedy to lighten the impact or atmosphere, which is something some shows and movies really annoy me with sometimes. Star Wars now, the Disney Star Wars, Marvel, Naruto, Dragon Ball, they do that, and it can get annoying. The question mark, question mark, question mark is Mob's foolish potential. No longer even himself. Like, there's not even a number to quantify where he is at. Like, the power itself takes over his consciousness. Instinct takes over, like almost animalistic, barbaric. That lizard part of our brains that we all have going back hundreds of thousands of years that lays dormant, all about survival. You know the movie The Iron Giant, my favorite childhood movie by far. You know his default state, normal, Iron Giant, nice. But then when he's threatened, when the military came in at the end, he turned into a mechanism of pure destruction. And then you got the Body Improvement Club, my boys. Ran in to check in on Mob if he was okay, while all of Teru's schoolmates abandoned him and ran away. Also arguing against Teru's former attitude and proving that psychic powers don't make you a better or superior person, and has made true friends by being himself without the use of his powers, and friendship in a way is power. Knowledge is power. Friendship is power. Even Taro admitted that Mob was right at the end. Look what just happened. Take away your psychic powers, which Mob essentially did to Taro, both by absorbing all the surrounding energy, which it appears that his question mark form is able to do, but by rendering his own psychic powers useless because he was so much more powerful that he might as well not had any powers in the first place. And without any powers, he's both naked for real, but also naked and completely vulnerable inside as well, as a person, as a being in his own existence of being. And you saw all of his followers abandon him, showing that everything he had was a facade. And then afterwards, Mob spent 3 hours looking for Dimple. That says a lot. Like I said before, I still think he will return. Possibly Teru is not able to exorcise spirits or whatever you want to call them. Nonetheless, I'm calling it. Dimple will be back. I want him to return. But in the pouring rain for 3 hours shows Mob does care about Dimple, because he wouldn't do something like that for something that you don't care about. But I will say though, the very ending, you're gonna have to explain the flashback with his brother to me and help me understand what the ending of the episode meant, what that all was about. Because this is where I'm coming from. What still confuses me even after the episode of second watch, when he is looking at the TV, seeing the news report of the paranormal activity that happened, he knows that must have been Mob, of course. But he has that sinister look on his face and he says it wasn't Nissan, which is brother, of course. So he's saying it wasn't my brother. So he is implying, or is he implying, in that flashback with the bullies, though those kids were indeed injured, Mob thought he caused it. But in actuality, was it Ritsu? As in, it wasn't Nissan. Therefore, Ritsu is also a psychic. He's saying it wasn't Nissan who hurt those kids in the flashback, it was himself. So is Ritsu also a psychic, or is he saying Mob back then exploded and what Ritsu saw, that 100% power, silhouette, or person, it wasn't Mob, it wasn't my brother, it wasn't Nissan, it was whatever that essence or spirit or whatever you want to call it that comes out when Mob explodes. He saw that 100% form. Those are my only two thoughts. Either Ritsu himself is also a psychic, and for some reason and somehow he has kept this a secret his entire life and has even lied to us as viewers, because I remember it was either last episode or the one before that where Ritsu explained in some inner monologue of his that he is jealous of his brother having powers. So I don't want to lean there because of that, because it's so contradictory. So Ritsu saying it wasn't his brother, as in it was whatever Mob becomes once he explodes, and said, I don't know. Obviously, don't want that spoils for me, so don't tell me straight up in the comments what it is. I'll have to wait for that to be revealed. If there's a way that you can just tell me if I'm going along the right path, if I'm thinking correctly, if something indeed is going to come up in the future regarding this. Something along those lines, if you can manage to be spoiler free, and that I would appreciate that. But yeah, this episode kicked ass. This is the one where it's like I'm really eager to get into the next episode. It's the one where I really wanted to just get into the next episode, but I knew, okay, I gotta do the discussion, I gotta wait. That's what this episode was. But this is where I'm going to end the discussion here. If you enjoyed the video and found it entertaining, hitting that like button to let me know is awesome. Better yet, if you want to keep up with all future content from me, be sure to subscribe to stay in the loop. Keep the conversation going down in the comments below so I can connect with y'all more, build this community. You know that's the most important thing to me. Follow me on social media for my photography and a more personal side if you'd like. Having said all that, and with that said, so long, farewell, until next time. Thank you, be happy, and I hope you have a good one. Peace.